Hello everybody, welcome to me and my channel. I thought I'd start off my channel, I hope to start off my channel like this one anyway, with my 2018 year in books. So this is what I read in 2018, and like a lot of book nerd data. So basically I read 54 books in 2018. If you don't care any more than that, you can skip off now. It's fine. This is just a lot of data that I love to find out and I love to look at because I'm weird like that. I'm doing maths at uni, like let me just look at data, please. So, my Goodreads goal was 52 books, so I exceeded that. I wanted to read a book per week. Like by reading 52 books, I think I doubled my last year because I only read 26 books. So yeah, I did a lot better this year. And now my next year's, my 2019 one is 60 books. So that's 5 books per month, so we'll see how well it goes. Anyway, so by doing that I read a book every 6.76 days. Average that is 19,196 pages, with an average 52.6 pages per day, which is on average 1,600 pages per month. And now you can see all the books that I read on a whole photo. If I didn't own a physical copy of it, I just turned it around. And they roughly had the same amount of pages. Like some of them have exactly, but quite a lot of them, like I don't have that many like tiny little books that are physical. But I had quite a lot of like ebooks that I read like that, so yeah, that's what happened with that. Okay, and then this is by month. So these are all the books I read each month. As you can probably tell, I didn't read anything in November, but actually it wasn't a bad reading month because I basically just spent the whole month reading Kingdom of Ash, and I love doing that. Like I love just taking my time with it and reading like a little bit per day, and sometimes I read more, sometimes I read less. It was just a really nice month to read it in. And yeah, I only had like 20 pages left by December, but it doesn't count because I didn't finish it in that month. And it's like books that I finished in that month rather than like exactly what I read. So that was annoying, but like also I don't mind because I wanted to read it slowly and I wanted to take my time with it because it was the last book in a series that I really love. So really my worst month with in reading is probably January, because that was literally just an audiobook that I finished, and I'd been reading the audiobook, listening to the audiobook even for a while. It was a while. My best month for number of books is October of 9, but I read almost 1,000 pages more in December than that, so with 3,432 pages in December. The best rating on average was in March with 4.7 stars, that being the mean average, and then but the best number with a total number of 5 stars is June with 5 5-star books. The average length of books is 355 pages mean and 350 to 400 pages mode, which I was actually kind of surprised at because I thought I read like quite a lot of longer books than that, I guess. But I don't. I read some like really short books and I didn't realise how many short books I read. Like I just pick them up and get rid of them so quickly that you don't realise that they're there. So that whilst I read lots of long books, they take so long to read, you remember them because it took so long. And yeah, talking about shortest books, the shortest book that I read was 46 pages, The Becomer. I wouldn't recommend it, but it was a quick book. And then the longest book that I read was Kingdom of Ash, which has 992 pages. Yeah. And then my average rating overall was 3.6 stars. This is new to me authors and authors that I've read from before. I read a lot of series, but I've also started a lot of series this year, so I don't think next year will be as many new to me authors. I feel like I'm gonna read a lot of series, but I mean, saying that, probably not. It's me. I'm gonna start a load of new unfinished stuff. Okay, so and then this is debut books compared to normal books. This is not great, but I do read like a lot of series, so even though this book is not a debut book, it might be a debut series. So yeah, and I was really shocked that Outlander and Graceling were debuts. Like, not that there aren't very good debuts in the books that I read, but I was just like, oh, I didn't realise that because they're so beloved by like a lot of people that I just thought they weren't. And Next is series. So from right to left it's standalones, then first book in series, then sequels or like books that aren't the first one in series. I knew I read a lot of series, it's just known, but I really did start a lot. Like I thought I was like finishing, but I also finished a lot. Like I finished I think 3 or 4 series, which is like really nice to finish them off. So yeah, I don't mind, it's fine. I have a problem, it's fine. So next is reread, left being new and then the right being reread. City of Fallen Angels I did not realise was a reread until I finished the book, and I was like, this seems familiar, I swear I've read this before. And I did, so that was fun. I'm not really surprised by this. I try to read new books as much as I can, but I also went through a phase of like reread books as well. Oh, and Deathly Hallows is in the wrong place because I have definitely read that before. Yeah, it's probably like the most that I've reread. Anyway, yeah. So saddest books. Saddest book that I read was probably this one. I cried and cried listening to this on audiobook. I was literally just in my dorm room just like weeping on my bed. Like I just started listening to it on my way back and I got to the Battle of Hogwarts and I could not stop listening to it, and yeah. Finished this one on my bed crying in uni. It was, oh, I love it. Yes, thank you. And kind of a good second was probably Me Before You. Just because what this ending is, it's so heartbreaking and I definitely cried a lot, but it's not as good as Harry Potter, so. And also Life After Life, but not in like a, I don't know, just like a broken hearted way more than anything, because this person, like, okay, so it's about someone who like dies a lot and comes back to life every single time she fails at living or something like that. So every single time she dies she comes back to life and restarts her life again. And she more just has like nudges not to do something. So she doesn't like remember it, but she has nudges to not do something which makes her live. Something like that, anyway. And it's really just so many times. She tries over her life so many times and she's constantly failing and constantly just having terrible lives. And it was really heartbreaking, really heartbreaking. Just every single time, yeah. She tries at life so many times, but she just cannot get it right. It was really sad. It was really sad. Achievement for reading is probably... Sorry, this one's really far. It's probably 1Q84. A friend lent it to me in August, and I finished it on the 31st of December. And this is just the first book that I'm on about. I finished the second book like January 2nd. But it was so, nothing really happened in it and I didn't enjoy the writing style. It's just, I'm liking it now. By the end of the second book I'm more interested in it, but it was very slow and very hard to get into. It just, like, this is the cover, wow. I should probably like hold it like this, but you can see the little rip in it anyway. Yeah, 1Q84. Would I recommend it? Yes. As long as you don't like books that I like. I don't know, it was weirdly written more than anything. It was sort of like detached, I felt, so it was very hard to read. Anyway, we're not talking about this, we're doing a wrap up. We can't talk for ages about one book. Okay, next. The weirdest book that I read was Their Zandian Mate. My only 1-star read. It was about aliens and it was just very weird. It was about like gorgeous aliens taking over and it was just so weird. So weird. And just, yeah, how? And I'm sure it is like a romantic genre that I just do not know about and frankly I do not want to find out about again. Okay, next. Next is my surprised enjoyment. I was surprised that I enjoyed it so much, and this is Scarlet. I randomly picked it up one day and I was kind of very, very shocked about how much I love this because, like, I need the next book in the series and it's too expensive right now and it is killing me. But yeah, it is really, really good. Really enjoyed it. I feel like not a lot of people have heard about it, but I really enjoyed it for what it was. I read it in a day. Yeah, there's like just under 300 pages, so it's not very long, but I read it in a day, but I was not in any way, shape or form meaning to read it in a day. Like I was just going to pick it up for a few minutes while I ate my breakfast and then ended up finishing it. Most surprising plot wise was Eleanor Oliphant is completely fine. I really did not see that ending coming whatsoever. Just shocked me, but it also made so much sense, and I was just wow, 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 wow. I think I only gave it 4 stars because of just having a hangover of a really bad book that was similar, and I'm really annoyed that I did that, but I couldn't have read it any other time. Like, I couldn't have just put it off because I needed to get this back. I was borrowing it with someone. Most disappointing, Me Before You. I hyped this up way too much and it was just mediocre, really, because I love the movie so much. I think she and he do it so well. It is so good, and this is just meh. Like, it is meh. And then this one, because my friend loved it, like, this is her favourite series, 1QA4, and I don't like it so far. Maybe I'll love the last book, I don't know. So then this is from my Goodreads. I read, most popular book I read was this one, obviously it's kind of obvious, and then my least popular was Become. Makes sense, I only read it because it was free. Alright, so next is release date. From left to right we have before 2000, 2000 to 2010, 2010 to 2015, and then 2015 onwards. So next is female or male authors. Female authors on the left and male authors on the right, I think. In the middle we have both or other. I read a lot more female authors, which I'm not surprised at, because I'm not surprised that I read more, but I'm surprised by how much it was. Like, I thought I was picking up from like 3/4 maybe, or like not as much of a difference as it was. And then male or female characters, which is pretty much the same as the male and female authors. I literally moved 6 books for this whole thing, so that's a thing. Okay, so next we have how I read it. From left to right we have audio, both audio and physical, then physical, and then ebook. I mean, I read a lot more physical books than ebooks. I know this. I like reading physical books more than ebooks. And then the amount of audiobooks, it's very low because I cancelled my Audible subscription fairly early on in the year, and now also I had like a problem with my library card. It wasn't like letting me log in online, but I finally got that sorted, so I should be able to read a lot more. I think I've already reserved the amount of audiobooks that are there for next year. And then next is how long I took to read it in days. From left to right it's more than 100 days, then more than 10 days but less than 100, and then less than 10 days and more than a day, and then 1 day. The longest being Fellowship of the Ring, which took me 244 days. Yeah, I get very bored with that book, and literally that was only because I was listening to an audiobook and it still took me ages, so that's a thing. And then most of the one-day ones that I read were probably from a 24-hour readathon. I don't usually read a book in a day if I just like the book. There is a few exceptions to that, which I think happened before now. I hope, if I've edited this right, I think. Next I have, when I read it, did I own that book or have I borrowed it off someone? Again, this is probably going to change because my library card is fixed, so I can read a lot more of my library books, which I didn't have before. Next is whether it's free or not. Again, this is like the most important to me. Like, did I get it free or did I not get it free? But honestly, like, I think the only books that I paid for new were these two. These are the only books I got new this year. Like, I think also other Sarah J Maas books I got new. I get a lot of my books secondhand, and a lot of them are less than £3. Majority of them, like, if I find it in a charity shop, it's probably £1. I don't pay much for my books, and that's why I'm kind of okay with having so much books. Okay, finally, we're here at my star rating. So from 1 to 5, from left to right, blah blah blah. Anyway, that is it. You can find the Google Sheet down below with all the books and the data and all this sort of stuff, and also below you can find my Goodreads year in review if you want. So yeah, that's it from me. Do a reading a sign off. You know what to do. Bye!